Hey everybody, and welcome to another segment of AstrologyAnswers.com's weekly forecast. My name is Terence. The week begins on Monday, February the 14th, Valentine's Day, and the moon is in Leo. The moon sets the public tone. Leo is romantic, it's extroverted, it's playful. But to have the moon in romantic Leo on Valentine's Day could not be better. Plus Mercury, the planet of communications, of gathering information, of conversations. Mercury is changing signs on Monday. It had been for a few weeks in traditional, conventional Capricorn. But by mid-afternoon Pacific time, the Mercury enters into quirky, progressive, idealistic Aquarius. Aquarius tends to look to the future. Capricorn is the establishment of the past. And Mercury is what is on our minds. So a lot of ideas will be percolating for those next several weeks. Now, on Tuesday, the moon does continue in Leo. However, the moon will be in opposition or confrontation to restricted Saturn. This is going to occur around noon to 2 p.m. Pacific time. So it's only a couple of hours, but you might be feeling emotionally stuck or lonely. But if you're trying to negotiate in business, that's Saturn, or trying to have a heartfelt conversation, that's the moon. You're feeling this confinement in this frustration. So you wouldn't want to be doing any business or having a counseling session or having any kind of heartfelt conversation around that time. On Wednesday, February the 16th, will be a full moon. The full moon will be in Leo. Full moons, in general, test relationships. But this one is always very strong because the sun is in Aquarius, opposite or confrontation with the moon in Leo. The Leo represents the individual versus at odds with Aquarius, the collective. So this once a year with the full moon in Leo, you'll find a lot of testing with relationships. However, on that day, pleasure-seeking relational Venus will be aligned with physical assertive Mars. Venus-Mars comes together once a year. It can trigger a lot of sudden attraction, romance on a personal front. Can also be highly creative. Whatever you're doing that day, there could just be this passion. But with a full moon and the Venus-Mars, there could certainly be some sparks of love are being ignited. Now, the moon will change signs. It will become full at the very end of Leo, which is 8:57 a.m. Pacific time. And at 12:43 p.m. Pacific time, the moon goes into Virgo. Leo is fiery, extroverted, loves entertainment. Then the moon goes into Virgo for 2.5 days. Virgo is sensible, it's practical, it's work-oriented. On Thursday, with the moon in Virgo, the Jupiter, expansive Jupiter, will be in harmony with innovative Uranus. Depending on how it impacts your individual horoscope, in general, Jupiter-Uranus can mean sudden luck, sudden financial opportunities, sudden travel. That Uranus is all the exciting, unexpected, and sudden with the Jupiter. That Jupiter can mean money, can mean travel, can mean education. Very lucky day. Plus the moon in Virgo will be in harmony pretty much with the Jupiter-Uranus. So it's a really favorable day for luck, for business. Why don't you spend a couple of dollars and play the lottery? On Friday, the 18th, the sun is in the morning, 8:43 a.m., is entering into Pisces. The previous 4 weeks, the sun is that where our more the background theme. Aquarius is very mental, very progressive, looking to the future. But when the sun goes into Pisces, we go from the intellectual energy of Aquarius to the emotional, caring energy of Pisces. The sun in Pisces for those next 4 weeks can instill more compassion, more sensitivity. The moon that's been in Virgo will then move into Libra, relational, compromising, diplomatic Libra, around 7:51 p.m. Friday evening Pacific time. On Saturday, the moon's not making any aspects to other planets. The other planets aren't aspecting each other. But the moon is in Libra for the entire day, and it's a weekend. And so the waters are calmer than usual. In Libra, it's harmonious, it's sociable, it's seeking out. Venus likes romance, Libra is ruled by Venus. So there's this emotional need for enjoyment, for entertainment, for romance. On Sunday, the 20th, the moon continuing in Libra. One of the things about Libra is, if you hear any basic astrology, is Libra has the reputation of being indecisive. But I'm here to tell you that's not my experience, and not as an astrologer, because what's happening is that Libra energy, especially if you are a Libra or your rising sign is Libra, as one example, Libra's not indecisive. They're just taking their time, weighing every possibility. So where you're thinking they're not making up their mind, they are going through all the possibilities before making up their mind. So they're not indecisive. Once they make up their mind, they're very committed. Now, on Sunday, the 20th, with the moon continuing in sociable, diplomatic Libra, it's going to be stressing out Venus and Mars from around 6 a.m., maybe way up till 9 a.m. Pacific time. That's when relationships may be a little bit more impatient, a little bit more emotional. But as we get to the mid-morning Pacific time, that the moon moves beyond the Venus-Mars, and it's calm waters for the rest of the day, like it was on Saturday. So before I sign off, I want to remind you I'm available for a 1-question offer for a nominal fee. To request it, go to the home page of astrologyanswers.com and look for the tab labeled Advisors. Click on it, scroll down until you find my name, and follow the instructions. I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you next week with my next segment. Until then, be safe and well.